Tiger fans and draft fans alike, the draft's only 9 days away. Can you believe it's been a fairly long build-up for just us regular punters trying to play along and play some guesswork, let alone those who are actually participating in it. And that's why we thought today we would get a very, very special guest on. He plays for Sturt, wore the number 30 and the number 7 for South Australia. His father was also a Tiger legend who wore the number 3. Louis Kellaway, welcome aboard, mate. Thanks for jumping on for a chat.
Thanks for having me.
Does it... Like I said, like for us normal people who are just taking random guesses at draft stuff, it feels like this has been a long process. How does it feel from your perspective being on the other end of it when, you know, everything you've done for the last, let's call it, 5-6 years is now up to this moment in time?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think about it. Like, a fair bit goes into it, but sort of got a pretty good idea that the under-18s year is the most important. So pretty much since the end of last year, starting pre-season and playing all my games this year, that's sort of, I knew that was sort of crunch time, and that's where you got to really prove your point and put your best foot forward. So it's been good. It's been an exciting year. So ready.
Before we get stuck into your 18 side of things, tell us a little bit more about your junior football. Were you always a midfielder or a defender? Have you played other roles? What did you do in your younger days before you hit the 18s?
Yeah, it's been primarily sort of midfield through my career. Junior, like, I started because I was sort of quite old for the 07 year. I used to play up because I went to school in the year above, so I played with all my schoolmates and stuff. And I was probably not quite as big as them, a bit underdeveloped, and played a little bit more halfback and stuff then and wing when I've been the younger, sort of smaller guy. But primarily midfield through my juniors and through my Sturt career. Even as a bottom major last year, I was through the gut. So it's sort of been my main position.
Now, speaking of the Sturt stuff, congratulations on winning the grand final under 18s. The club in total had a massive year with the seniors winning the grand final. I think the Rezzies made the grand final as well. It must have been a great way for you personally to cap off a really good under 18s campaign for Sturt with the premiership.
Yeah, 100%. It was unreal way to finish the year. Like 16s, we had a pretty good run. We were probably the best team all year, and then got pipped by Centrals on the big day. So that was a bit of heartbreak for us back then. And then had a pretty good year last year and lost to Eagles by less than a goal in the first final, and they went on to win it. So to finally sort of get it done and win on the big stage this year at Adelaide Oval was great for the boys.
It was interesting though, wasn't it? Because you played West Adelaide, but they actually knocked you off in the semi and then again in round 18 before finals started. So obviously, and I think you might have had a draw against them during the year as well. So a lot of tough contest. What changed in the grand final to swing it around by that much?
Sort of a couple of things I think played a part. Like on the Oval, our home ground where we played that round 18 game in that first final, was pretty small deck, and Westie's a really good defensive team. They sort of really flooded the ground, so they'd have all their players behind the ball pretty much, and it made it really difficult for us to move the ball around out of our back half, and we got stuck sort of chipping back and forth across the back line.
Right.
So we knew sort of if we could make that grand final at Adelaide Oval, there'd be a lot more space for us, and we'd be able to sort of pick through their zone defense better. So I think that was one of the big things. And then also we had a fair few college boys in our team who sort of hadn't played much footy for the team until pretty much that last round in that first final. So having that couple extra weeks to get that sort of team bond back together, really. I think by the time the grand final came around, we'd sort of clicked again. We're playing our best footy.
Timed it perfectly. That's the best time to start playing your best footy. You had 17 disposals, kicked a goal. Always nice to creep forward in a grand final and kick a goal.
Yeah. No, I was pretty happy with it. Kick a goal on Adelaide Oval was something not too many people can say they've done. So no, it was pretty special, especially in the last quarter when we sort of knew we'd had it won. So that was really good.
Just gives you a chance to celebrate it more, doesn't it? When you know the game's sort of done, you can actually enjoy the moment.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Did you tell your dad, see, it's not that hard to kick the goal?
Yeah. Nah. Get a little bit of, like, I reckon my goal kick has been pretty good through the past few years. And then this year it's sort of, I haven't kicked quite as straight and was talking myself up earlier in the year. But it's good to kick one on the day, and probably more than he's kicked. He didn't kick many in his career. Although he tells me about his junior career and he kicked a lot of goals apparently. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. Has he shown you much of the footage of the Port Adelaide's first goal? I mean, it was 10 years after you were born, but has he shown flashback the footage for you?
Yeah, we occasionally go, hop on YouTube and try to find some of his highlights. That's probably the main one we see of his first goal, which is pretty funny because he had the one just beforehand that it just
he missed it. Yeah,
getting around him, they thought he'd kicked it, but he'd missed. So that's pretty good. But yeah, his junior days apparently he kicked a lot of goals, but yeah, couldn't kick any in the AFL, unfortunately.
Oh, that's very good. Now, what was your 2024 off season like heading into 2025? Being under 18s is the main year of your whole football when it comes to the draft side of things. Were there some parts of your game that you identified after the 2024 season that you wanted to work on in the lead up to this season?
We had that sort of state academy pre-season, which I found really good, like getting to train amongst the best players in the state, really, and with a really good program there. So probably a bit more exposure to gym work and sort of higher level running were both important factors for me, getting that aerobic capacity and work rate up, and then also putting on size is sort of one of the big things for me. I'm quite sort of skinny and need to put on a bit more muscle to be able to compete around the ball with the bigger boys. So that was probably one of the main things. And then probably a bit of defensive pressure, tackling and stuff where strength comes into it. I think that was one of the other focuses for me through the year, which I've definitely improved on.
You definitely did. It's funny you mentioned those things because some of those things were things that I'd noticed when sort of watching your games throughout the year, especially your two-way running and defensive efforts, which I think was there last year as well, to be honest. But is that something you've always sort of prided your game on because you always had a really good ability to push back and help out on turnover, which really helped your defense out immensely?
Yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable. Like it always can be better. Like it always work that a little bit harder to make an impact. But I think, sort of mentally tried to work on that a bit more. And that's something Dad sort of tells me to need to keep doing better to be a good player. So, definitely something I focus on.
No, it's good. It's undervalued, and we probably don't see it enough at AFL level. People just kind of not take it for granted, but just think someone else down the field will get the job done. But to work hard both ways is really, really good. Now, we spoke about the success of your senior side. One of the questions I always got when after I sort of posted a highlight video of one of your games or whatnot was senior football ever on the horizon for you? But I guess with how well your senior team went, it would have been a pretty difficult side to break into given they lost one game. Were there ever any conversations along the journey of playing senior footy this year?
No, it would have been good. Unfortunately, sort of, like you said, the league were going so well. They only lost the one game, by a couple of points. So I think it was always going to be difficult to crack into the league side. But like a couple of myself and a few of the other state boys thought we might have a go getting pushed up into the resis if we were playing a sort of weaker side in the 18s. But we got to go out for a couple of weeks and do training. But compared to other boys in the other teams, like a few of the Woodville boys and Roosters boys got to play that senior footy. We didn't really get exposed to that, unfortunately, which we would have liked and would have been good. But what can you do?
Yeah, I suppose it's when they're winning games by as much as they were every week, it's a hard one to crack into. But look, even though you didn't do the senior football, you obviously played for South Australia in the Champs, which was a fantastic honour. And I thought you were super in the Champs. What was that like, training and playing with all the SA boys? Can you talk us through the process of how long in advance do you get together as a group and start training and working things out before the actual carnival kicks off?
Well, like I mentioned before, we had that sort of academy. So that started about this time in 2024, I think. So a lot of training all through the summer, over Christmas. Had a little bit of a break then, and then they sort of chose a squad after the first 6 rounds or so of the Sample Under 18 season. But it was pretty similar to that academy. So a lot of the boys had been playing with each other for a long time, and it's a pretty small comp over in SA with the 8 teams. So know all the blokes pretty well. And it was a really good experience. Like all the boys were really tight, got around each other, had a real team mentality, which coaches wanted us to focus on. So played good footy and enjoyed ourselves doing it as well.
You smashed it. As a collective team, that was probably one of the more dominant displays over a carnival that I think we've seen for a while. So it's interesting to hear you say that a lot of you already had really strong relationships heading into it, which I reckon has a big factor in it. But it must have just gotten to a point where it was just super fun to be out there playing amongst those players as well as you all were.
Yeah, definitely. Like you go out, train pretty hard and have fun when you're doing that. And then gets to game day, it's a little bit more serious, obviously, and playing best players in the country, but we were playing well and had confidence in ourselves and in each other, that self-belief. So, it was always a good time, celebrating goals with each other and good play. Even the little things like defensive efforts, it was always, getting around each other, and that's what made it so enjoyable, I think.
And you averaged 19 disposals, 4 marks and 3 tackles in the champs, which I think's fantastic. And it again proved how consistent you've been this year. You must have walked away pretty proud of how you performed, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, felt like pretty consistent over the whole carnival and put my best foot forward for it. So it was had a good midfield group. Would have liked to add probably a bit more of a breakout game where I just got a bit more of the ball or kicked a goal. I was hoping to kick a goal through the carnival, which unfortunately couldn't do. But it was good, really good carnival in the end.
Yeah, I did see you took a couple of pings from 50 at one point. I don't blame you. Try and get the goal on the board. It looked like from the outside looking in, it looked like you had a really good understanding and on-field relationship with Dyson Sharp in particular. I always made a point when talking about the SA games that if Sharp had 25 touches, that you were probably a direct result of 8 of those feeding it out to him. And that's not a knock on him. That's a compliment to both of you with how well you worked. How much fun was it working with Dyson Sharp, and how good of an on-field relationship do you both have?
Yeah, no, it's unreal. He's like a fantastic player and leader. So having I played 16s carnival with him, and this year they're the only 2 times I've really played with him. But he's an elite player, and good. He gets the ball to me a lot as well. So good to have him in there working hard with that contested footy. So it's really good fun playing alongside him and the other boys as well. Like Sam Cumming, I've played a fair bit of school footy with as well. So got a good relationship with him too, and feel like all of us in that midfield worked really well together.
It was a pretty good unit. Opposition had a tough time trying to extract the footy with the likes of you three in there doing your thing. Who were some of the more difficult opponents that you played against in the champs from the other states?
It's sort of hard because you don't know everyone super well, like when you come up against them. But our toughest game, I felt like, was that first game against the Allies. So that midfield they had, they worked really hard forward, which is pretty hard to defend. Like blokes like Annabelle and Colson and those blokes, they sort of, were very, very quick, good handball release and found space well, and it was pretty hard to stop them. So I think in the games after that, we sort of worked on as a team our bumper bar and stuff because it's a very fast-paced footy in the state carnival. So, but they were very, very tough opponents to play against.
Is that one of the main differences you could tell between sort of Sandford 18s and the Nationals was the speed of the game? Is that the biggest difference?
Probably, yeah. Probably skills were a bit higher as well, so less mistakes made. You don't get any easy ball really, but you see, I only see sort of footage of the Coates League and stuff, and it's very fast paced. Probably a bit less defensive and contested, which is good in a way, but compared to over here in the Sandford, quite fast paced. So that was probably the main thing.
The other thing on the sample, just getting completely sidetracked, obviously the AFL are now bringing in the rule with the last disposal out of bounds, which is something you've played in the sample for a while. What do you make of that rule, and how long have you had that rule in play for compared to the normal out of bounds rule? What do you think of the two?
No, I think it's definitely a good move. Through my whole junior career, we've had that both in club footy as well as sample. I think just having watched a fair bit of AFL, sort of a bit of indecision with the umpire, it makes it quite hard for them to go each way. There's some where they call it deliberate or insufficient intent when it probably isn't. So I think by bringing in that last possession rule, it's just makes their job a fair bit easier, and for the players as well, they know that they're going to work hard to get that hand on it rather than let it go out off the kick as well. So
I agree. I really like it. I think it's going to be good. After watching a lot of the Sandford games this year, I completely agree. And I think the people who are typically against it, I don't reckon have seen much of the Sandford games, because I reckon your games flow really well, and it just makes it such an easy decision. And I don't think there's too many differentials between ball ups and kicks. It just works a lot better.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the people who seem to be anti it sort of think it's just off the hands or whatever, just last touch rather than
that would be difficult.
Yeah, so once people sort of get that clarity with that, I reckon there'll be a bit more acceptance. But we'll see. I think it should be good though.
I think it will be too. Now, the father-son program, I suppose all clubs have these implemented at various levels, but it's been a big part of footy for a while now. At what point along the process in your football journey does the contact with Richmond begin? I know nothing's a given of where you'll end up in a couple of weeks. Hopefully it is at Richmond. But at what point does the father-son program really start to kick in and they get you involved with it all?
I think it's sort of picked up a bit more recently. Like my sister has been going over and done a couple of things through this year with a couple of other blokes like Jack Lees who's over here and a couple of other guys over in Victoria and stuff. But for me, there's sort of less of a program. So I think we went and visited as a family and went and watched trainings over Christmas a couple of years ago. We just went and watched that. And then I was pretty lucky, got to go over, I think it was in 2024 before the Anzac Eve game. So I got to do a couple of days of training there.
Yeah, nice.
Really good to get to see sort of how they went about it in season. And then got to go watch the game as well, which was good fun. And then also went over for a week when the AFL Academy boys went out to their they all did the week, the AFL Academy boys at each club. So I was at Tigers for a week during pre-season around December last year with Louis Emmett was out there as well. So that was really cool experience. Nice, I met him. He was a great fella and did the training for the whole week, seeing what it's like doing an AFL pre-season. That was, good.
And what does that look like compared to your normal sort of Sturt pre-season? What is there a huge difference between what they're doing to what you were doing?
Well, obviously it's like your full-time job, so they're in at the club a lot more than we are. But the sort of things that I sort of stood out to me was like how much time like is actually spent out on the oval, kicking, doing running, compared to like recovery. Like they do so much recovery and footage and like sort of tactical stuff as well. So a lot of vision and all that sort of stood out to me. There's a lot of time spent doing that rather than actually kicking the whole time or in the gym. So that was good to see.
And you also had the combine recently as well, which was it was great to see you out there doing that. What I think a lot of, I suppose, Richmond people in particular found interesting, firstly, was on the whiteboard you hold up with your details. You had Maurice Rioli on there as your favourite player, which was a really left field one. I like it. What's the story behind that? Is it Morris Jr. or Morris Senior, or a combination of both?
No, more so Morris Jr. Like, obviously enjoy watching the Tigers. It was pretty tough to pick I'm a big Tigers fan, but pick one player and sort of, I don't know, Morris came to me. I think my younger sister loves him. She's a big fan of Morris, and I was like, I get around Morris as well. His chase down tackles are pretty inspirational at times. So thought, why not put Morris down? He'd be up there with my favourite players. So, that was pretty good.
I like that. His chase down tackles are pretty excellent. Your combine results are pretty good. 20-metre sprint, 3 seconds. Agility test, 8.15. And the dreaded 2K time trial, 6 minutes 31. What was the entire combine experience like, just being there with all of those like-minded athletes who are all doing their best to put their name up in lights for a draft spot? What was it like?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, get to meet, some of the blokes you don't really know too well. You've only played against them, for the odd game here and there. But, it was like, spent a lot of time at the MCG, which was good as well. Sort of locked in there almost, a bit like prisoners. But,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was a little bit funny. But, sort of you did interviews, did a bit of media stuff, which was all good. Get exposed to that a little bit more. And then, obviously the testing, which is pretty good. Get to see like some seriously athletic blokes go about it. So, it was good.
I didn't realise they locked us into the MCG. That's interesting. Well, it's not a bad place to be locked into, to be fair.
Yeah, no, it was really nice. It was pretty comfortable in there. But, sort of had to do a little bit of uni study while I was
just sitting in the stands, doing some uni study.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but we weren't sort of meant to leave too much. So it was all right. Fair enough, though.
Now, footy obviously runs pretty strongly in your family bloodline. Has it been helpful for you to be able to get advice and guidance along the journey? And what kind of role have, I suppose, all of your family played in sort of getting you to where you are today?
Yeah, well, Dad's obviously the main one. Sort of a lot of time with him. He's out at pretty much all my games and always has feedback, advice, pre-game, post-game. Knows my game pretty well and what I can work on, what I'm doing well, and all that sort of stuff. So he's definitely the biggest resource in my footy. And then you've got the uncles as well. They're more Melbourne based, so I don't see them quite as much, but they're always interested to see how I'm going and hear about progress with the draft and stuff. So it's definitely good to have a lot of people to turn to and talk to.
It is. It's amazing to have that type of sounding board. No matter sort of which way you look, it's good. So hopefully they can give you plenty more solid advice for the future. We did have some questions come through from some viewers. So the first one was, who is your current favourite AFL player to watch, and who have you modelled your game on the most?
Well, I obviously wrote Morris on the whiteboard at the combine, so he'd be up there. But more so modelling my game off. The big one's been this year, I think, Hugh McCluggage. I found him really exciting to watch, and obviously Brisbane went all the way, so get to watch them through finals. But I think I've got some similar attributes to him, so watching him around the stoppage and around the ground, his kicking and work rate are elite. So enjoyed watching him and try to see what he does and implement that into my game a little bit.
He's a ripper player to base your game off, that's for sure. What are your interests and hobbies outside of footy? If you weren't playing football, what would you be doing?
Yeah, obviously at uni doing a science degree. Not 100% sure where I'd go with that, but maybe somewhere down the biology pathway, or even doing a bit of geology, so something like that. But outside of that, I'd like to just stay active, hit the golf course a bit with my mates, doing a bit of social lawn bowls as well at the moment. So
nice.
Just anything outside. Tennis as well. Tennis is sort of my main sport, doing a bit of tennis coaching as a job as well, so make a bit of money there.
Oh, that's nice. I tell you what, lawn bowls is underrated. People laugh at when you hear younger people playing lawn bowls. I remember doing it on school excursions. It's unbelievably difficult, number one, but it's socially very, very good. Yeah, no, it's really good fun.
We've won one, lost two in our season so far, but we got absolutely put to the sword the other night by some older fellas. They were too good for us.
Did they let you know about it? Did they give you some stick?
No, they were pretty humble. They were up 21-0 or something with only a couple rounds left, but we managed to scope 5 points late, so it was all right in the end. Not as bad as
it got on the board at the end. That's good.
Exactly.
What do you think are the top 3 attributes required to play at AFL level?
I think footy IQ and smarts is one of the biggest things. You got to obviously be able to read the game well, positioning and stuff, and understand sort of tactics and how the game works. I think that's one of the biggest things. Probably skills, kicking. You can't get away with it these days, not having a good kick and being able to execute handballs. The other big thing, and then probably a bit of a mix between having that aerobic strength. The big grounds you play on in the AFL, so you've got to be able to run out games and go with the opposition, as well as strength to go with them around the contest and in 1v1s and stuff. So
footy IQ is a good one, and it's probably one thing that I do associate with you a bit as well. Just your ability to get those releasing handballs out of packs to teammates who are exiting a stoppage. I think they're worth their weight in gold, and I reckon it's a bit of an underrated skill to have.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like that's sort of one of my stronger attributes. Like at times probably could drive my legs a bit more and find the gaps myself, but I sort of see that teammate there and like to release them into space, draw and give, as you'd say.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I guess some people can get caught up in trying to take off the miracle kick, but there's also a lot of value in just playing the percentages and doing what's the most obvious thing to do, which is what you seem to do. You seem to pick the right option almost all of the time, which is good.
Yeah. No, cheers.
The final one from the viewers was, and this might be a tricky one, regardless of where you get drafted to, if you could take just one South Australian teammate with you, who would you take?
Yeah, it's tough. Like we were saying before, work well with those boys in the midfield, which would be good, but it's hard to go past my Sturt mate, Noah Roberts-Thompson, who sort of played a lot of footy with at Sturt through my juniors and get along really well. We've been doing a lot of running, like before the combine together, as well as now, even just the possibility of getting drafted on the cards. Just want to stay fit. So I think he'd be the bloke I'd probably take with me.
Fair enough. Sounds good. Then finally, we just usually like to end on a couple of rapid fire questions. Very, very light-hearted, nothing serious at all.
Yeah.
Does pineapple belong on a pizza?
Yeah.
I like that. Very good. Chocolate, do you keep it in the fridge or the cupboard?
Oh, probably fridge.
Geez, a couple of people have said that. Okay, it's interesting. If you weren't playing footy, what would you be playing?
I'd like to play golf. Not good enough, but I'd say that.
I'm worried about this next one just because of the state that you live in. Chicken parma or chicken palmy?
It's palmy. 100%.
I knew that was coming. Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
What's your favourite food?
Hard to go past bacon.
Do you have a favourite band or song?
I've been bumping a bit of Kylie Minogue recently.
Oh, okay.
Love at First Sight, I think. That's the one.
Yeah, nice. Fair enough. Favourite board game?
Snakes and Ladders.
Oldie bit of goodie. Favourite gym exercise?
Tough one. Maybe just bench press.
Just bench
Need to work on it.
And if you were watching a show on Netflix or whatever subscription, do you binge watch or do you space it out one at a time?
Oh, it depends a little bit. Probably space it out a bit more.
Space it out.
Binge. Yeah.
And the final one, if there's a swimming pool nearby, are you cannonballing in or do you dip your toe in first?
Cannonball in the sun. Now it's summertime. Just back in the cannonball.
Just straight in. Very good, Lou. Thank you so much for jumping on, mate. And good luck for next week. Obviously, from a very selfish perspective, we hope you end up with the Tigers. And I've got a strong vibe and feeling that you will. But no matter where you end up, all the best with the football career. But hopefully we can see you in the yellow and black shortly.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's good chatting.
That's right. No dramas at all. Thank you again and good luck.
Cheers.